away from the wall, and it'll close. There's a little bit of a lip somewhere there. Yeah. Or have.
Do we have any citizens or public comments? Hearing none. Welcome, everybody. Consideration of approval of the agenda.
So move, Your Honor.
Second. Clerk, call the roll.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
The agenda is approved as submitted. Consideration of approval of the minutes of the March 21 and March 28 meetings. Any discussion? So move.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Minutes of the March 21 and March 28 meetings are approved. Consideration of approval of the consent calendar. Any questions regarding the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye. Consent calendar is approved as submitted. Business of the mayor. I have two proclamations. Can somebody step up and introduce the folks who are going to be talking? We have two, one on National Service Recognition Day, the other Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Mary Litter, Foster Grandparents, Corporation for National and Community Service. We're asking you to read a proclamation for the 6th of April. That's the day they celebrate it, so.
Is anybody going to step forward in support of that?
Got your posse with you, huh?
Hi, I'm Betty High. My name is Betty High. I volunteer at TLC, and I've been there for about 6 years.
I'm Mary Kellogg, and I volunteer at IC, and I've been in the program 13 years.
I'm Shirley Petrick, and I volunteer at the middle school, and I don't know how long I've been in, 11 years, I think.
I'm Carol Miller, and I volunteer at Washington. I've been here 4 years.
Okay, and what, they're part of Senior Corps, right? Which is what, you might explain that.
Senior Corps, that, there are 3 programs that are over for people over age 55, which is RSVP, Senior Companions, and Foster Grandparents. So it's our 44th year here in Charles City, yay. We're one of the oldest programs in Iowa and the biggest program in Iowa, in the smallest city that has a program. So we're really proud of that. So
It's quite a compliment, and it involves a lot of reaching out and fundraising and
yes, lots of all of it.
Lots of
And
organization.
thank you to these ladies. We have 84 women and 1 man right now in the program. So they all volunteer here in Charles City, but we cover 4 counties. We cover Mitchell, Saragordo, Chickasaw, and Floyd County. In Floyd County, we have the most volunteers. We have 54 right here in Floyd County. So, but we've been here the longest too. So anyway, we cover 22 sites and 8 school districts.
any other questions?
It's a great program. Thank you all for the time that you invest in it.
It is.
They love all the hugs.
Okay, we have one other proclamation.
Hi, I am Erin Myers. I'm the sexual abuse advocate for Floyd County and a member of the sexual assault response team. And April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we were hoping that Charles City would participate in declaring Charles City as a member of helping us with the awareness. I have with me Janelle Herman, who's a victim witness coordinator for Floyd County, and she's here. We service many men, women, children that have fallen victim to sexual abuse. I don't have the numbers right off the hand, but I can tell you I work through Floyd, Mitchell, and Worth counties, and Floyd County definitely keeps me busy. It carries about 80% of my workload. Our county attorney's office, police, and the ER has done an amazing job of making sure that victims are fully served in every facet that they have to go through. And I would just like to thank Charles City for being such a strong team in all of our facets of that. So,
Other questions or discussion?
Do you have any other activities or anything going on to raise awareness as part of this? Or?
yes, we have April 30th, we're going to be doing a 5K that's starting down by the boat landing. Is that the right? By the boat dock. We're going to start at about 10 o'clock in the morning and do a 5K and hopefully promote a little bit throughout that, and then also do this proclamation. So we may bring the Clothesline Project to the courthouse at some point in time. Those are T-shirts that are made all by victims of Floyd County, and then we display that. We don't have a date for that yet, but we're hoping to bring that to the courthouse sometime.
Okay.
Oh, and teal ribbons on the...
We have teal lights in the courthouse.
Oh.
When you drive by, you'll see the teal lights.
Yeah, see, that's why she should stand up here. There's teal lights in the courthouse. Do we have ribbons on the...
Not yet.
We may have ribbons on the police and sheriff's office vehicles, too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
It's so moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Hammond.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Okay, the proclamations are approved. I'll come down there and read them. We'll take them in the same order that they were presented. There we go. And whereas service to others is a hallmark of the American character and central to how we meet our challenges, and whereas AmeriCorps and Senior Corps participants address the most pressing challenges facing our cities and counties, from educating students for the jobs of the 21st century and supporting veterans and military families, to providing health services and helping communities recover from all natural disasters. And whereas national service expands economic opportunity by creating more sustainable, resilient communities and providing education, career skills, and leadership abilities for those who serve. And whereas national service participants serve in more than 60,000 locations across the country, bolstering the civic, neighborhood, and faith-based organizations that are so vital to our economic and social well-being. And whereas national service represents a unique public-private partnership that invests in community solutions and leverages non-federal resources to strengthen community impact and increase the return on taxpayer dollars. Now therefore, I, James A. Erb, Mayor of Charles City, Iowa, do hereby proclaim April 6, 2016 as National Service Recognition Day in Charles City, Iowa, and encourage residents to recognize the positive impact of national service in our city, and to thank those who serve and to find ways to give back to their communities. Signed by myself. I think your organization, of course, is an outstanding example of how this process of volunteering works, and it goes on and on and on through our community in many different ways. And without the volunteer efforts of just about half this community doing things like that, we would not be able to sustain ourselves as a community. So you're indispensable to us, and we appreciate all you do. There you go.
Thank you very much.
And whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in this community, and whereas rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment impact our community as seen by statistics indicating that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be raped at some point in their lives, and whereas child sexual abuse prevention must be a priority to confront the reality that 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 4 girls will experience a sexual assault before age 18. Whereas on campus, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men are sexually assaulted during their time in college. And whereas when we actively get involved, we can prevent sexual violence. The first step is increasing education, awareness, and community involvement. It's time for all of us to take action to create a safer environment for all. Now, therefore, I, James A. Erb, Mayor of Charles City, Iowa, do hereby proclaim April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Charles City, Iowa. Signed by myself. As we've just been speaking, this is obviously a serious issue for our society, and the team concept of getting cultural awareness of all this and then working with our law enforcement agencies and individuals is probably the only way we can hope to improve on these statistics, which indeed are rather grim. Thank you very much. Next up is the Charles City Chamber request for closure of City Street, use of the city parking lot, and disc golf course for Charles City Whitewater Challenge weekend of June 18, and street closure for Zip Code Day Parade on May 6.
Good
and
evening.
we have somebody standing there.
Mark Wicks from Charles City Chamber of Commerce. We are requesting use of city property along Riverfront Park on June 18th for the Whitewater Challenge, and then also May 6th for Zip Code Day. Trudy, remind me, these all together, or are we doing one in a row?
I don't know, I guess it's up to these guys.
Okay.
I was just gonna, yeah, I guess they're all together, maybe you just do it all in one fell
That's
swoop,
fine.
Mark.
Coming up first will be May 6th is Zip Code Day. This will be the one time in our lifetimes that the calendar will match Charles City's zip code. So we're doing some fun things during the day, which will include a little parade similar to homecoming, but we're going to do it backwards. We're going to go start down here on Main Street by the bridge, by the Rose Garden, and go up North Main to the post office, because that's where we're going to end. We're going to do a photo there. We're requesting closure of Main Street for a brief time on that day. The parade lines will be 3 o'clock along Riverside Drive here, along the Rose Garden, and by Old Tory's into the parking lot if need be, and then go up Main Street at starting at 3:45. It'll be a brief parade up there and finish at the post office.
5/06/16.
Yep. It just happens to fall on a Friday, which is awesome. It also falls on the Friday that we do our annual Chucktown Fiesta that night, so it's going to be a festive day.
Central, we can do it again.
I'll meet you there. We've been working with the high school art teachers. We've been working with fifth graders and designing special things for Zip Code Day. I got to check my notes because Kim Gerber and Ginger Williams from our office have been working with the kids on this. They've been having a lot of fun with it. We have a special shopping bag that's been designed by by one of the students. Her logo is being featured on the bags, and we'll have special canvas shopping bags with that logo on it, that if people buy a bag for $3 at the chamber office, if they go shopping with it that day, we're encouraging a lot of the businesses to provide them with a treat or a discount, just as an added way to get out and about that day. We also had some fifth graders design postcards that will be sold during Zip Code Day, and one of the logos that was designed is also going to be used for a special cancellation stamp the post office is going to use that day only. We'll also be having a Where is Mr. Zip contest, Mr. Zip being the post office's mascot. We're working with them. We'll do a Where's Mr. Zip the week leading up to it. KCHA is going to help us along with our social media avenues. We're encouraging the businesses to run specials during Zip Code Day, recognizing those bags in some way. We'll have special Zip Code T-shirts that we made up with that logo that the students designed. They're available at the chamber office on a pre-order only basis for $10 each. Orders must be received at the chamber office and paid by April 15th. And again, the parade will be at 3:45, starting from the Rose Garden going down or up North Main Street to the post office.
That's on a Friday.
It's on a Friday.
So you're going to give a lot of publicity, because otherwise our citizens will be totally confused by all of this.
Oh, absolutely. We've been getting all the stuff set up ahead of time. We have to work with the students to get the logos. The logos are done, have been judged by the art teachers. The bag's been made up, the T-shirts design made up, postcards and stamp cancellation. That's all in place now. So now it's publicity time.
Other questions or discussion for all three of these requests, or we can, if we have any controversy, we can split them up.
No, I so move. Second.
I should also add that the following day, May 7th, we'll be opening a farmer's market downtown. So we've had some good success with that, and so it'll be a fun weekend.
Okay. We
You're
include
going to
that.
talk about your other days as well, Mark?
Absolutely. Then the other request was for use of Riverfront Park on June 18th for the annual Charles City Challenge Whitewater weekend. We'll have the Whitewater competitions going on. We're also requesting use again of the parking lot back here that we used for the Charles City Barbecue Challenge. That was a huge success for us last year by moving it to that location on a different day. We moved it from the 4th of July celebration to the Whitewater celebration. Helped bring some new people down there to check out the Whitewater course. First Security Bank and Trust has been putting on the cardboard boat race in the same time on that day in conjunction with everything going on. We're also working hard to make it more of an overall riverfront festival. We'll have a family bike ride again this year. We had the first one last year. Mother Nature didn't cooperate. It rained that morning, but we still had 40 people participate, so we look for bigger things this year. We'll also be having a disc golf tournament we're organizing, as well as a beanbag tournament. And that's all on June 18th.
Other questions or discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
All of the requests are approved.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
Consideration of Resolution 22-16, approving agreement with Golder and Associates to address 5-year review requirements for Shaw Avenue. Discussion.
This agreement with Golder and Associates is to review the 5-year EPA review of the Shaw Avenue dump site. And we looked at this a couple weeks ago, and I know we had some, Ralph had some questions about some portions of this agreement that he wanted to have adjusted and clarified, and I think we've gotten to that point where that has taken place. I don't know if you have any other.
No, it's kind of a one-sided agreement, but, so there wasn't a lot we could do, but there were a couple things we changed, so it's as good as we can do. We'll see how it works out. I think the real question is, are they going to be good to work with or not good to work with?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
And as I mentioned, Zoetis has worked with them in the past. They've had a good working relationship with them. So I reached out to several colleagues and called a couple references and hadn't heard back from them, actually. So I can't speak to anybody else's experience, but we should have a good project here. The plan is to, once this is approved, we're going to be setting up a meeting with the EPA in Kansas City I think I'm going to be participating remotely via phone, and as well as folks will be in person at the EPA office just to verify the process of what they're looking for and what we're going to be working on. So we should be able to get after it pretty quickly.
Questions, discussion?
And where does the money come from to pay for this, Steve?
It comes out of the general fund. Specifically, I guess we budgeted out of the streets department, but we have this last year, we levied funds to repay ourselves from expenses from last year, and so we've, but typically just out of general fund. Good news with this is it's the amount, our portion is going to be about $35,000, which is about $20,000 less than what we thought we might be spending. So, not to say that this is going to be the full amount we spend. We might have to do additional things depending on what the EPA decides, but it's nice to start lower.
And we share in the cost of this with Zoetis.
Yep, yeah, our half is 35 and Zoetis has 35, so the total contract is just over 70,000.
I would so move, Your Honor.
Second. Further discussion or questions? Clerk will call the roll.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Starr.
Resolution 22-16 is approved. Consideration of Resolution 23-16 approving contract and bond for public housing handrail project. Discussion.
Heidi Nielsen, Housing Director. We had previously approved the contract for the handrail project to be done at all three public housing sites, North Cedar Terrace, South Cedar Terrace, and Morningside Apartments. The project had been awarded to King Construction from Clear Lake. They have provided us with signed contracts, and the performance bond is in place. I did run them through HUD's database, and they are not barred from participating in any HUD programs, and they're not on the excluded parties list. The pre-construction conference is set for April 18th, and after the work begins, they need to be finished by August 26th. Wagner and Weiniger is going to be helping us with the contract administration and overseeing the construction, and we do have this project funded through the Capital Fund Program.
Discussion and questions.
Is this the one, Heidi, that we ended up with a little extra cost because of having to go out and rebid it again and some changes, just because a lot of time had kind of gotten away from us?
Yeah, okay, we originally started this probably the very beginning planning phases 3 years ago, so yeah.
Okay.
Further questions or discussion?
I so move.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Starr.
Aye.
Yeager.
Resolution 23-16 is approved. Consideration of Resolution 24-16 approving change order for North Cedar Terrace kitchen and bathroom accessibility improvements project. Discussion.
Okay. We have finished this project, and throughout the course of the project, we found that we needed to issue 3 change orders. The first change order was elimination of a flooring allowance. We had given the contractor a flooring allowance of $4,000 to replace and repair, patch the existing flooring on the project, and when we were in the pre-construction phase, we decided that we'd rather do that in-house, so we eliminated that $4,000 from the contract. And we also deducted some painting in apartment 82. That apartment was vacant at the time we did the work, and we have our painter that we have come in, and he was going to already be painting that unit. So we eliminated that from the contract. So change order 1 is just to eliminate those work items for $4,050. The second change order was to install a larger wall cabinet. Part of the work involved removing a closet that housed a water heater, and to save room in the entryway so there'd be enough turning radius for a wheelchair, we had to put in a tankless water heater. And we put that in a cabinet, and having never done this before, we didn't realize it would take as large of a cabinet as it took, so we did have to increase the cabinet size substantially to house the water heater. And then in addition, there was a light in the closet that we did not realize that was there that we had to eliminate at the same time. So that added to the contract cost of $1,790. And the third change order was to adjust an allowance for the door hardware that we replaced in the units. The contractor had been given an allowance of, I believe, $150 per locking or door mechanism. So the deduction was just to reflect the actual cost that they had spent on that, and it was specified in the contract that this was going to happen. So this change order was something that we knew about in advance. The total contract, the original amount was $83,950, and the net difference of the change orders brought it down to $79,018.92.
Discussion or questions?
And these are funds that you already had budgeted and
Yeah, and
sitting in.
actually, the contract amount is less than it was.
Right, but I mean, you already
initially.
had the funds sitting in the capital improvements fund.
Yep.
So,
Other questions?
so move, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Hammond.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Resolution 24-16 is approved. Consideration of Resolution 25-16, accepting the North Cedar Terrace Kitchen and Bathroom Accessibility Improvements Project. Discussion.
We have all the necessary paperwork that we have to close out this project. They've met all of the Davis-Bacon wage reporting requirements and other HUD requirements. So at this time, we're just requesting approval to go ahead and pay out the full amount of the $79,018.92. We didn't do any draws. We're not going to do any retainage because the project is complete.
And it's all been inspected and everybody's happy with the work?
Yep, they had a small punch list, and it was just something that they got taken care of in about an hour's time. So, yep, everything is 100% done.
Who does the inspections, if I might
Wagner
ask?
and Weiniger came in with their architect and
Okay.
went through the apartments with us.
Okay. Again, I'd so move. Second.
Other questions or discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Star.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Resolution 25-16 is approved. Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi.
Consideration of Resolution 26-16, approving contract and bond for 2016 sanitary sewer lining project. Discussion.
Well, the 2016 sanitary sewer lining project was awarded to Visu Sewer at the last meeting, the March 7th City Council meeting. Their total bid for the work was $177,174. Now, this project involves lining nearly 5,500 lineal feet of 12-inch sanitary sewer located in the northwest area of Charles City, and also 660 lineal feet of 18-inch sanitary sewer located east of O'Reilly Auto Parts Store and north of the Charlie Western Recreation Trail. This work will be funded from the Sanitary Sewer Fund. And following your approval of the contract and bond, we'll schedule a pre-construction meeting with the contractor as a kickoff to this project, find out his schedule. And the project has a completion date of September 23rd. So we'd recommend approval of the contract and bonds.
Questions or discussion?
Has Visu Sewer done work for us before, John, Town?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, we're aware of their work.
Right.
They can do this work. They do a lot of this lining work. They've also bid on our projects before, but have not been the low before. So.
Okay. Is there some additional work being done in that area east of O'Reilly's there as well, or is there somebody else involved in some of that project?
Not for this lining project.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking there was somebody else that was involved in part of something.
Talking about the volunteer.
Funding? Yeah.
Yeah, Zoetis is helping with some
That's what I
funding.
thought. Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
I thought you meant there was some other work.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I couldn't remember if there was other work going on or if there was somebody else just involved in paying for part of this or what.
No, Zoetis, they kind of consider this part of their line.
Okay, okay.
Actually,
Just to make sure I keep it straight.
I'm sorry. Actually worked with Visit Sword a little bit in my last community, and they did good work there. So
Okay, good.
some experience with that.
Further questions or discussion?
So move. Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Yeager.
Aye.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Resolution 26-16 is approved. Consideration of the second reading of ordinance 1090, repealing Chapter 124 tree trimmers and adding new Chapter 124. Discussion.
Yeah, this is an update of our ordinance for our tree trimming licensing, and it's basically being done to streamline it, make it work better from an administration standpoint. Currently, all the licenses are due at various points of the year, and we're going to change that so they're just due annually on April 1st. So this is the second reading of the ordinance to make that change.
Has there been any comments that have come in since the first reading?
I have not heard any.
Not that I'd be expecting a lot.
Not that I know of either, Mike.
Okay.
So move.
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Friesman.
Aye.
Hammond.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Yeager.
The second reading is approved. Can we have the second reading, please?
Ordinance number 1090, and ordinance repealing Chapter 124 of the Charles City Code of Ordinances 2015 and adopting a new Chapter 124, which amends the provisions of the repealed chapter by requiring that licenses for tree trimming and tree removal be obtained on or before April 1st of each year, and which eliminates the provision in the repealed chapter for a special license of shorter duration than 1 year.
Thank you. Consideration of motion approving temporary street closure, South Main at 5th Street. Discussion.
Yes, this is part of the 2015 PCC paving and water main repair project that actually was started last year. Heartland Asphalt's the contractor, and this project is getting started again. It has a contract completion date of May of this year. And part of the work involved is reconstructing a water main there at the intersection of 4th Street and South Main. Basically, it's from the main to a hydrant. The hydrant's been out of service for a while, and the hydrant lead needs to be replaced. Now, South Main Street at this location is actually under the jurisdiction of the DOT. It's a part of Iowa Highway 14. And the DOT has told us that we could not detour or close this portion of the highway, so we have to do it one lane at a time with temporary traffic control. And when we were looking at this, and we realized that the most practical way of setting up the traffic control is to close South Main south of 5th Street, which is South Main at that point is a city street. So the work would begin this Wednesday and last about a week and a half. It'll scheduled to be reopened on Monday, April 18th. So I recommend approval of the motion.
Discussion or questions?
So basically, anybody coming into town up from the west on Highway 14 won't be able to go south on South Main.
That's correct.
So I assume we're going to be detouring them before that point so that they can get around there.
Well, it'll be closed. We won't have a marked detour.
So if somebody doesn't know that that's closed there, they'll get up to that corner and...
Well, then they'll continue around, and then...
So the street won't be closed going south on South Main?
Yeah, I mean, they'll continue around going north.
Yeah, they can go north, but they can't go south. I think we need to do something to let people know before they get there that they can't go south on South Main.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of traffic that comes in and heads that direction. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but...
Yeah, and I guess as far as that goes, whether you take them out out past, I think what direction, the Cambridge side, or if you take them around by 4th Street, instead of it's like South Johnson, that wouldn't be a very good detour route for the non-highway. Maybe take them up and around by the auto shop there. But yeah, I agree. It definitely needs to be vocalized to some extent of the city portion of where they could still get around that, head north and east, and cut back around if they need to. So.
Okay,
Are we on the same page?
yeah.
Who's doing this work, John?
Well, the water main work is being done by CAM Excavating,
Okay.
and they're a sub to Heartland.
Oh,
And
Heartland,
the
okay.
resurfacing, or the concrete work will be done by Heartland.
All right.
Wasn't there some work done on that intersection just a couple, 2-3 years ago?
It's been, I think, like 3 years ago now. It was another break, not at the same location, but on the, on the east half of that intersection.
Okay.
On the main itself. This is the hydrant lead. This is the main from the water main over to the hydrant. See, the main is actually on the east side of the highway,
Okay,
and the hydrant's on the west side.
the west side, okay.
We had some work done on South Main north of there, or south of there, up in, excuse me, up on 6th Street, 7th Street, a couple of years ago. That might be non-related, but
Non-related, yeah.
we've had problems in that area.
But there was work right in that same intersection.
That's what I thought. So, but it's not related?
No.
That's,
I would so move, Your Honor.
Second.
Clerk, call the roll.
Hammond.
Aye.
Star.
Aye.
Yeager.
Aye.
Reesman.
aye.
Okay. The motion is approved with those additional understandings built into it. Miscellaneous correspondence.
None, Your Honor.
City Attorney's report.
Nothing.
City Clerk's report.
Next planning session will be April 13th. That's a Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Okay, City Administrator's report.
Well, we've finalized our dates for spring cleanup, and that's going to be the last week in April. So it'll be April 26th, 27th, and 28th. Takes us about 3 days to do the entire town. You get one pass past your residence, and we'll be picking up on those dates. As far as box spring and mattresses, we usually pick those up prior to that 3-day stretch, and so we'll be doing that on Monday, the 25th. But the rest of the pickup will be that Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Residents are allowed to start putting out items the Saturday prior to this, so feel free to do that, but nothing before Saturday. We're going to be tracking the nuisances pretty close this year associated with this to make sure that people don't get over anxious, and so don't put out your stuff till Saturday if you would, please.
And one of the big reasons behind that is, well, one of, I guess you should say, just reasons in general, is we don't want to also pay to dump water if it rains on some of the stuff that's sitting out there.
I'm hoping to break the streak. This will be my third year here for this spring cleanup, and it's rained each of the last 2 years, so hopefully we can have some drier weather this time. Tomorrow we'll be meeting with the Simply Essential folks, talking more about their plans to locate here, so we should have some information to report after that. Wednesday, we have our first conference call on our RCPP grant with all of the various participants to kind of lay the groundwork for getting that set up and started. And I'll have my city notes. I'm up for city notes this week, and then I'll be on KCHA tomorrow morning talking about the street closure, talking about spring cleanup and other things. So that's what I have to report.
Thank you. Any board, commission, or committee reports? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're adjourned.
You know, in my sitting.
You timed that well.
Baseball or basketball, which
Yeah.
one? Do you flip back and forth between the two?
I was almost wondering if taking them out
Cubbies?